Thank you very much. Darren, this is, I think, actually a wrongly posed question because, according to the advice I have, we have not failed to meet the annual limit of 35 bad air days. But ever since we succeeded in getting the extension from Brussels, the criteria have been slightly different, so that I'm told, and obviously this awaits final confirmation, I'm told that the exceedances are only 12 this year. And the second, that's the first point. But the second point is that the overwhelming majority of the PM10 problem, 80% of it, is caused by fumes of one kind or another coming from Europe, or from outside, from continental Europe, from outside London. And therefore, I think the Commission is being incredibly commonsensical and wise in giving us the extension that they have, and in allowing us to get on with the various measures that we're putting in place.
Right, well, let's try and unpick that. Firstly, the bad air days. A DEFRA air pollution monitoring site at Marylebone Road shows that it has now reached 38 bad air days, where it's exceeded the European legal limit. So it has gone beyond the 35 limit. Secondly, the European Commission isn't accepting your argument that pollution from Europe blowing into central London, missing out of London but blowing into central London, is to blame, and the European Commission says you are wrong on that. And thirdly, in terms of the extension, a provisional extension was granted, but says provided the plan is adjusted to include short-term measures effective for controlling and where necessary suspending activities.
And indeed, we've got loads of short-term measures, which is why discussions with Brussels have been so fruitful. I'm not aware, by the way, of your of their rejection of that argument about the 80% of the particulate matter coming from outside London, but I'll certainly look at it.
It's strange, isn't it, that it manages to get to central London, where we have real air pollution problems, and misses out of London.
Do you want me to finish off the point? The things that we're doing include, as you know, dust suppressants on Marylebone Road, Euston Road, fitting diesel particulate filters on 25 Euro 4 buses on the 344 bus route, which is on Upper Thames Street, a particularly vulnerable area, 25 buses on Park Lane, 26 on the Marylebone Road. We've got people, eco-marshals trying to stop taxis idling in an unnecessary way at King's Cross, St Pancras, Euston and other stations, and a series of other measures which are designed to deal with this hotspot problem. And I think that the Commission is showing notable wisdom in giving us this extension. Just about every city in Europe has problems of one kind or another. London is tackling them in a very, very vigorous way now after years of apathy on this subject.
Instead of just concentrating on these small-scale measures at the edges, have you given serious consideration to the proposal for a very low emission zone in the congestion charging area? You say you're looking at it in your air quality strategy. When are we likely to see some progress on that? Well,
we are looking at that, as I've said. I mean, I can see flaws in the idea, but I will be seeing something fairly shortly on that.
Why have we had so much delay on this?
Well, you know, these things take time to analyse. I'm not immediately attracted to the idea of setting up another charging zone or low emission zone within London. We have the low emission zone for the whole of Greater London. We're just about to institute stage 3 of the low emission zone. I think that the measures that we're putting in are very effective, and you can tell that the Commission is impressed by that because they've given us this extension.
But does it not make sense to have stronger measures where the problem is most acute in central London? Does that not make common sense? So that was the view that the Environment Committee reached cross-party Labour, Conservatives, Lib Dems, Greens all signed up to that approach. Rather than trying to all move at one speed for the whole of London, why not look at additional measures in the centre of London where the problem really is?
We are looking at additional, that's exactly what we're doing, Darren. We're looking at additional measures.
You don't sound very enthusiastic about it.
In the centre of London that are extremely ambitious, that go way beyond anything you encouraged in any previous administration, that go way beyond anything that was done before. We have all sorts of measures to clean up our vehicles and to improve air quality in London. I think it's a testimony to the courage and ambition of what we're doing that the Commission has relented and given us the extension, and Londoners are not facing a £300 million fine thanks to the efforts that we're making.
Well, I called on the previous mayor to introduce a low emission zone in the congestion charging zone back in 2001. So I've not just jumped on the bandwagon on this one, Mayor.
Well, you, as far as I can remember, you supported the previous incumbent religiously throughout. And what kind of?
I think if you look at some of the MQT exchanges, I think if you look at some of the MQT exchanges with the previous mayor, you'll find that that's not quite true, and certainly not when it comes to slowing down on air quality measures.
In that case, I thought.
But we note your dither and delay on this, as you have on all other air quality measures. The whole
I think
time
what you should
mayoralty.
note, with respect, what you should note is thanks to the dynamism and action that we have taken, we've actually persuaded the European Commission to lift the threat of a £300 million fine. And I think that's a very considerable
provided you
and I'm amazed, Darren, that you don't have the grace, you're not big enough to stand up and say that actually, yes, these guys produced a plan, they came up with a whole series of initiatives, they went to Brussels, they sold it, and they're doing a good job to improve air quality.
I want to see you solve the problem of air pollution in this capital, and you have given us no indication so far that you are serious about that matter.
Well, I think if you go to Brussels and talk to the officials of the EU, they will tell you a very different story.